Hello, mortgage broker community. Welcome to your weekly National Broker Sales Meeting. Got a lot of great stuff to cover today, starting with the big news that came out from Inside Mortgage Finance last week. Mortgage broker market share growing to its highest level since prior to the financial crisis, 19.3%. It's a big number, and it's a big increase from its previous high. Previous high was 16% most recently at the second half of last year. Now, one of the things that gets skewed in this whole equation is the second biggest wholesale lender currently doesn't report their volume as wholesale volume, it reports as retail volume. But the actual number of market share for mortgage brokers today is 19.3%. So want to say congratulations, great job. You're focused on growing, and you are growing market share. We are collectively growing market share. It's a really, really big deal. The most eye-popping data that I saw when looking at the report was the average year-over-year growth of the top 10 wholesale lenders in Q1 was 230%. You heard that right. 230% was the average, with lenders like Home Point leading with 411% and UWM with 127% growth year over year. That's huge growth year over year, but 230% as a top 10 lender average tells you a little bit about the momentum in wholesale. We're talking about in 4 quarters, what was already a record year in 2019, we're set for even a better year in 2020. So the goal for this year when we started back in 2018 was we want to get to 20% market share by 2020. We're going to get there, but we still have to keep growing. We still have to keep doing more loans. We have to serve more consumers. But I just want to make sure all of you know you're doing a heck of a job. You're getting the job done. And obviously, more than anything, the proof's in the pudding. Brokers are best for consumers. It's the only channel that grew every quarter for the last 10 quarters. So great job. And we're going to keep going in the second quarter and through the rest of the year. Now, one of the things that we're going to talk about this week is focusing on seeking success versus avoiding failure. I had a whole bunch of calls this week, yesterday and Friday, from brokers that are trying to grow, are trying to apply some of the things that Renee Rodriguez has talked about, making sure you're getting your appointments in, making sure you're getting your daily calls in, talking to your past customers, making sure you're measuring it, tracking it, but doing it every single day. And a lot of the conversations I had were about, tell me all the reasons why they didn't call this one guy or didn't call this one realtor. Well, they're working with this guy. Or the last time I talked to them, they said they want to go with a rate below 2.5%. Whatever the excuses are, that's avoiding failure. That's the fear of, hey, I'm going to call somebody and they're going to hang up on me, or I'm going to call somebody and they're going to tell me no. If you're a baseball player, we all know if you're the best baseball player in the league, you hit the ball 3 out of 10 times. In this sport, if you hit the ball 1 out of 10 times, you are the best at what you do. So you have to get your at-bats. You have to make your calls. You have to focus on your appointments. Renee Rodriguez is going to talk a little bit about it today. He talked about it in a sales meeting a couple weeks ago. But if you're not taking those at-bats, if you're not making those attempts, you're never going to get to the average success that you need to get to. You're never going to succeed at growing and hitting more and more clients, doing more and more loans. So let's stop focusing on avoiding failure, and let's focus on making sure that we are seeking success every single day. And that's a mindset, and it's a very important mindset, and we have to remind ourselves, and it all starts from the very first minute we get out of bed in the morning. And this is one of the things that I hear a lot, is people are saying, I gotta go to work. I gotta work today. Instead of, I get to work today. And that's the big difference, is if you're waking up every day and you're thinking about work as, I got to work today, and it's exhausting and it's tough and I don't want to do this. Listen, we just came off Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully everybody got some time with their families and rest and relaxation. But right now is one of the best times in the history of the mortgage industry to be a loan officer. This is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the lowest rates have ever been. They might go lower in the future, but they are definitely the lowest they've ever been right now. So you should be getting out of work with the mindset of, I get to go to work. There's a lot of people that have dead-end jobs, digging ditches, doing whatever, that got to go to work, and they're not looking forward to it. But we get to go to work. We get to serve consumers. We get to grow our businesses. We get this opportunity every single day. So that's the mindset that I take into work every single day. That's the mindset that I'm hoping everybody can take into work every day. And I know it's hard. Some days are more difficult than others. Things go wrong. Appraisals come in short. Purchase contracts fall through. There's a million and one things that go wrong. But more often than not, things go right, and the opportunity is greater than the tough part of the business. So let's focus on keeping that positive mindset, focus on on seeking success. I get to go to work keeping the positive mindset. And I want you to apply it to every single thing you do on a daily basis. It's not just about how you approach your customer interactions. It's not just how you interact with your employees and your team members, but it's just an overall approach to life. Staying positive, staying focused on the goal, and not letting distractions put you in a bad position on a daily basis. Other thing I want to talk about is mortgage broker community is more united than ever. I'm on a daily basis, I'm talking to anywhere from 50 to 70 mortgage brokers. I'm talking to broker owners, I'm talking to their teams, I'm talking to processors, and the enthusiasm that people have now more than ever before is unbelievable. And I really want people to understand that the Brokers Are Better Facebook group, the AIME community, the AIME team interacting with all the brokers across the country, we're here for you. We're in this together. Our lenders are in this with us. Our vendor partners are in this for us. Everybody's focused on helping each other win. And I don't want people to focus on, hey, big broker model versus little broker model, or they do business this way and we do business that way. That's noise, that's friction, that's unnecessary nonsense. Focus on what matters: community, serving consumers, and doing what's best for your families long term. Growing your business, growing your team, helping your team members become better every single month, every single day. That's what matters. Comparing models, saying somebody's doing it the wrong way. Listen, you can find a negative in anything. But my focus is to keep the community united and to keep us all positive and focused on serving consumers. That's our competitive advantage, doing what's best for consumers. So again, we're in this together. Don't turn on one another. We're not recruiting each other's employees. We're not focused on anything negative. We're focused on transparency, doing what's right for the community, doing what's right for consumers, and being united. So please stick with that and keep that in mind as you interact with other brokers across the country. Last thing I want to talk about is we measure all of our posts that go into the Brokers Are Better group every single month and every single week. Over the last 28 days, we've had 85,000 unique interactions in that group. It's a very high volume interaction group. Everybody that's in the group, 7,000 plus members, know that. And the one thing that I see more than anything is brokers referring deals to other brokers. Hey, I'm in New Hampshire and I got a referral in New Jersey. Hey, I'm in Florida, I got a referral in Arizona. Making sure you understand, part of being a part of this community is keeping consumers in the channel, keeping consumers with another broker because that's what's best for the consumer, and making sure you're doing that, taking that extra step. Customer calls you or you get a referral, they're in a state you're not licensed in. Don't just say, no, I can't do it. Take the time, connect them with another broker. All you have to do is post in that group. Hey, I got a customer in Florida. I got a customer in whatever state. Within a matter of seconds, you're going to have 10 to 15 brokers that are unbelievable at their job, willing to help that customer. And what we do, that's a win-win. That puts you in a position where you're giving that consumer to another broker who's going to take care of them. But more than anything, that's putting a consumer in a position where they're staying in the broker channel, helping the wholesale channel grow, and that's what's best for all of us. So keep that in mind. Go the extra mile. It's really, really important. Lender Spotlight of the Week. Two big things here. Home Point Financial. I spoke to Phil Shoemaker this morning. He told me Home Point has hired 100 underwriters in the last couple weeks. So they're getting staffed up. They're getting in a position where they can get caught up on their refi turn times. So I believe right now on the purchase side of things, they're at about 3 days. We post turn times every Tuesday in the Brokers Are Better Facebook group, and they're about 2 full weeks on refis. But with the new 100 underwriters coming on, they're planning on getting that down to single digits in no time. So keep looking out. One of the things I tell everybody is don't just let your last experience be the defining experience with your lenders. Monitor turn times, monitor pricing, stay on top of them. Make sure that you're holding everybody accountable, but make sure you're not forgetting your true lender partners. So looking forward to those turn times getting lower. Every Tuesday, Katie Sweeney is posting those turn times in the Brokers Are Better Facebook group. Make sure you're tracking it. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., we have Jeremy DeRosa, Managing Director from Home Point Financial, going to be on Facebook Live on the in the Brokers Are Better Facebook group. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. Jeremy's experience, he's been a top retail recruiter he led retail recruiting for one of the top lenders in the entire country for the last several years. He's currently joined Home Point to help them, help their partners, help mortgage brokers recruit and grow their teams, whether that's hiring loan officers, hiring LOAs, hiring processors. His entire agenda and focus at Home Point is helping their partners as a company that's exclusively in wholesale get growing, get recruiting, and putting together a structure that allows brokers to go out and recruit effectively. You're gonna wanna listen to this. It doesn't matter what role you're gonna be recruiting for, it doesn't matter what role you're looking to grow your company with. He's gonna be able to give you a play-by-play on what the most effective strategy is to identify talent, to recruit talent, and stay in a position of growth at any given time. Last week, we did a Facebook Live with Scott Tansel from Franklin American Mortgage. It was a great interview. If you missed it, I got a clip I want to share with you, and it really defines the momentum that we're seeing in the wholesale channel. Now, Scott Tansel, Franklin American Mortgage, they were acquired 2 years ago by Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank is now the largest bank in the wholesale channel, and this is what their view of wholesale is and the view of the mortgage broker's role for consumers. That is a major executive from Citizens Bank, from Franklin American Mortgage, saying they believe the future of mortgage banking is with mortgage brokers. It tells you everything you need to know. It's a big, big deal. They're not only doubling down on mortgage brokers, but they're telling us right now, we're focused on investing in technology, on best serving consumers by partnering with brokers, and to kick it all and on top of it all off, what are they doing? They've adopted a customer for life strategy. They're saying, hey, listen, brokers, you bring a customer to us, we're not going to cross-sell it. We're not going to do what banks have done in the past. We're going to make sure we maintain the continuity and the relationship between the broker and that customer into perpetuity. That's true commitment, and that's a big deal. And it also gives you an idea of how important it is for lenders to be in the wholesale channel with 230% average growth for the top 10 wholesale lenders. We see the momentum. You see the momentum. You're all growing your businesses. So make sure that you keep that mentality. Keep focusing on growing your teams. The next 18 months, as we discussed, it's going to be a big, big growth period for the wholesale channel and for you as business operator. I'm going to bring on Rene Rodriguez. If you haven't been paying attention to Rene over the last couple of weeks, his tips, his value adds, everything he's providing is true value. If you're a salesperson, this is as good of coaching as you're ever going to get. There's a lot of people that pay thousands upon thousands of dollars for coaching. This guy is coming on here every single week, taking time out of his day to make sure he can provide value to the entire independent mortgage broker channel. So I hope everybody gives him their undivided attention, because this is true value. I learn something every single week. Rene, thanks for joining us again. We appreciate you.
Thank you, my brother. How are you? Well, we'll get that question later. Welcome and hello, broker community. I got just a few things I want to cover here today with you. And the first question, of course, is always the same. How productive were you this week? And if I were there and you started telling me a story, you already know my answer. This box is way too small for a story. That's why we make it small, so stories don't fit. What is your number? You got to ask that one for yourself. Going on 20 some years ago, I got cut from my basketball team in college my sophomore year. Most devastating moment of my life. And I thought everything I'd worked for was done. It was finished. I didn't know where to go. Got a chance to talk to a CEO of a very large organization, and I asked him one question. I said, if I want to be in your shoes when I get older, what's the one thing I got to do now? And he smiled and he looked at me and he said, you learn how to sell. And if you learn how to sell, you'll always be employed. And that's what this is about. And one of the mentalities that comes with being a sales professional versus an order taker, we're in an industry of order takers. An order taker is defined as somebody who facilitates a transaction that would have happened anyways. Think about that horrible definition. Facilitating a transaction that would have happened anyways. You're a vending machine when you do that. Nobody wants to be a vending machine, sitting around having something to offer and saying nothing. And hopefully somebody comes by and puts money in and you get to deliver something. A sales professional is somebody who uncovers value, uncovers the unseen value, and creates sales. That's what this is about. And so I want to go back to one of the things that we talked about last week. I introduced you to PAPCAR. That's the 6 money-making activities. Now, those 6 activities is your job description. And so if you haven't memorized them, I wouldn't be very happy right now. This is your job description. These are the things. In fact, and it's not hard right now. In fact, I'd like you in the comments right now. If you know what they are, I'd like you to place them all there. And if you don't have them memorized, and you've heard me talk about this, and if you've ever been in any sales training I've done for the last 20 years, you've heard me talk about the 6 money-making activities. And it's not hard. In fact, hold on a second. Diego, will you come here for a minute? So this is my 16-year-old son. I took him out of class right now. He's supposed to be in class right now, so he's not real happy with me. Diego, what are the 6 money-making activities?
The first one's prospecting,
Mhm.
then appointments, presentation, closing, aftercare, and referrals.
He's 16, not in sales, and he's memorized your job description. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. He's got to go back to school. So I do that to illustrate a really critical point. This is a sequence. I present to generate a lead. I take that lead. I set an appointment with that lead. Guess what? If you don't set an appointment, it goes on your desk, nothing happens. Set the appointment so that you show up to do a presentation. You don't show up to sign paperwork, but most people just get on the phone and say, what's your social security number? Well, in an low interest rate market like this, you have the luxury of being able to do that. Not in reality. We're trying to prep you for something bigger and something better, so that you have to have a strong presentation. And that's what we're going to talk about here today, is the P in PAPCAR. Now, this is the full name of the best salesperson that ever lived, PAPCAR McSitt. Now, McSitt is the last name of PAPCAR, and McSitt is the breakdown of what happens in presentation. Every presentation has 5 things that need to be accomplished, 5 sales that need to be made, and they happen in this sequence. And I'm going to run it down for you. The M, you should know this right now, is for myself. If they don't like you, if you walked in with an attitude, if you walked in and were on your phone and not paying attention, if your handshake was weak, if you were sloppy, if whatever, they didn't like you or they heard something about you, the rest doesn't matter. So the first thing is about, they got to like, you got to be able to sell yourself, carry yourself well, stand tall, good handshake, big smile, all of the things that are critical. The next thing is you got to be able to sell your company. Now, your company, there you go, is what keeps your promise. So I like you, but who's keeping your promise? Imagine saying something, well, great, well, what bank are we going to use? We're like, well, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. We're going to get all this done. It's going to be great. They're going to ask at some point, what bank? And if you finally give in, you say, well, me and a few friends, we're going to pull our money together and get you the home. They'd be like, no, thank you. Because the company is the broader piece that keeps your promise of what's going on. So I like you. I trust the company in the bigger picture. The next thing, what do you think it is? It's the solution. Now, the solution should be based on something you've uncovered as a need to solve. And sometimes the solution is just getting financing. Sometimes the solution is a bigger mortgage plan to build wealth over the long term. But whatever that solution is, I like you, I like the company, the solution solves my problem. But is the next question, what's this next I stand for? And that's investment. Now, I promise it says investment. Investment is not about money, because you're really not asking people for money. You're asking people to trust you, to take a risk on you, and to spend time with you. If you're talking to a realtor partner, you're not asking for money, but you're asking them to make an investment in risk. They're investing their reputation in you. And if you don't have a strong online presence, if you don't have a strong online reputation, if you haven't been taking care of that, if you don't get strong referrals from other people, if you don't have good customer service, they're not going to make the investment. They may like you, they may like the company, and you have a great solution, but they're not willing to risk what they've built in you. And this last one is where most sales fail. Imagine this. You sell yourself, the company, and the solution's perfect, and it's worth the risk that you're asking them to make, but they still haven't bought yet. What do you think it is? I'll let you think for a second. To this day, most people don't get this one right. It's timing. And timing answers the question, is now the time to buy? Is now the time to buy? How many people do you have in your pipeline that are saying, well, let's watch the market right now? You're in the lowest interest rates in history. So most people probably aren't having this right now. They're just rushing to get to the door. But if you don't understand how to answer this question, why now is the time to buy, you haven't even entered the world of professional selling. This is your key. Get them to like you, sell yourself, tell a great company story. And as a broker, you get a chance to tell the journey of your life within that company story. Start and tell them why it is that you chose this. That is one of the strongest value propositions to serve that customer. Offer a strong solution based on a needs analysis. Make sure that they can trust the investment and they understand the investment. And sometimes the investment you're asking a realtor partner to make is to stop and give a strong referral. Not hand out 3 cards and say, well, I don't know how it is. Here's 3 people that I'll deal with. Is to say, you know what? I've got a lot to offer, but this is the person that I think you should work with. And if you can train them on that, if they're going to make the investment time learning how to do that, that is what the sale you're making there. And the last one is you need to be professionals. You need to be experts at understanding how to sell, that now is the time to buy. So I'll ask you again, how productive were you this week? What number would you put in that box? Again, we'll see you next week. I'm Rene Rodriguez, and we'll talk to you soon.
Rene, that was, as usual, top notch. And that tells the full story of what it takes to be a successful salesperson. And if you just stick to that formula, there is no doubt in my mind that you're going to achieve the success, the goals, and the sales that you're looking to make on a weekly, monthly, and annual basis. But I want to capture one thing that Rene did hit on, which was the element of time and capitalizing on time and the urgency of capturing this moment in time where we know for 18 months we got an unbelievable refi boom ahead of us. We have unbelievably low interest rates. Now is not only the time to capture as many loans as possible, it's also the time to invest in your businesses. It's also the time right now to make decisions. And we're gonna finish up with this in a second. I want to make 2 major call outs for the rest of the week, but we're going to come back to that. Number 1, AIME Spotlight of the Week. We have Andy Harris, Oregon mortgage broker, career mortgage broker, on the Broker to Broker podcast. This is a great podcast. I had an opportunity to listen to it this morning. Really, really great content. If you don't know Andy, he's in the Brokers Are Better Facebook group. He's got his own Mortgage Broker Unite Facebook group. He's a industry legend. He really knows his stuff. He's a little bit over the top sometimes, but he's a sounding board. He's somebody I trust. He's somebody I personally rely on to bounce things off of, to get opinions, and to give me feedback when AIME might not be doing everything that maybe I think we should be doing. And he's somebody that's always provided me with great direction, and he's an incredible leader in the industry. So please be sure to listen to this episode. It's really, really top notch. I listened to it this morning, and I think you're going to get a lot of value out of it. Also, the Brokers Are Better Vendor Partner of the Week, Ogvo. This is a reputation management system. This is a plug-and-play solution that allows you to, when you close your customers, to put them down a funnel that will maximize and optimize your customers' reviews across multiple platforms. It's really, really exceptional. Here at AIME, we're personally using it. It's a part of our weekly newsletter that we send out to brokers asking us for a review. And I can tell you, as a user of the platform, our team loves it. We've been getting a tremendous amount of success. The users, the brokers that have used it as well, a lot of success. So give it a look, take a demo. But I can tell you right now, we are a user, we're a fan, and it's definitely a platform that will maximize your reputation management, get your reviews on as many platforms as possible. In closing, I want to talk about time, and I want to talk about the decision that you have to make, that we all have to make every single day. Right now, I see so many people focusing on a million different things. Hey, I want to invest in a CRM. I want to invest in this platform. I want to change LOSs. I want to change business models. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Stop thinking. Choose a direction. Pick a lane. Focus on growing what you're doing. Now's not the time to try to do everything. Now's the time to understand who you are, how you want to grow, where you want to go, what your goals are, and focus on execution. The time of thinking about risk and thinking about what could go wrong and thinking about 1,000,001 different things is not now. Now's the time for execution. We're in a refi market that's only going to last for a certain period of time, and you can only affect so many consumers and grow your team so much over this period of time. So you have to execute. I have brokers come to me every day. Hey, I had this loan with this lender for 3 weeks now. They haven't even underwritten the loan. What do you think I should do? You need to evaluate your partners. You need to make sure you're sending your loans to business partners that are trying to provide an experience for your customer that is best in class. That's saving time. It doesn't matter about the price. It's all about giving the customer the best terms. But if you got to lower your compensation, if you got to lower your lender paid compensation, if you have to go borrower paid to make sure you're closing loans and providing great customer experience, that's all that matters. Right now, you're going to get more referrals than ever before. But we got to stop overthinking things. We have to focus on execution. Every single day, you need to be coming in and making your checklist for the day. What am I accomplishing? And until you cross off everything on that list, you're not walking out the door. Until you make your calls for the day, until you set your appointments for the day, until you identify who you're hiring, an LOA or a loan officer or wherever you plan on growing, go through your checklist every day. And at the very top of your checklist, do the thing that you least want to do. Do the thing that is the most difficult, the last thing you want to do. Whatever that thing is, put that right at the top of the list and make sure that's the thing you do to start your day. If you get the hardest thing out of the way every day first, the rest of the day only gets better. So have a great week. Listen to what Renee Rodriguez said. How productive have you been this week? Are you hitting your goals? Are you making your calls? Make sure you finish the week strong. It's already a short week. We're well on our way to a strong month and going into a strong second quarter. Look forward to seeing everybody next week. Have a great day. Thank you very much.